The room went silent the moment he stood up. Metal chairs stopped scraping. Forks froze halfway to mouths. Even the old ceiling fan above us seemed too slow, whining softly like it knew something heavy had just entered the air. My stepson's face was red, jaw tight, fists balled like he'd been rehearsing this moment. He destroyed my life, he shouted. I didn't argue, didn't raise my voice. Oof, and slid it across the folding table between us, paper against plastic. A quiet sound that somehow swallowed the whole room. That's when everyone stopped breathing. My name is Ray Mercer. I'm 57 years old, born and raised on the south side of Fort Wayne, Indiana. I've hauled freight for ups most of my life, overnight routes. Early mornings, long miles where you learn to stay awake with bad coffee and habit instead of hope. I'm not impressive. Never tried to be. I like my coffee black, my truck clean, my bills paid early. I'm the guy people call when a sump pump quits at midnight or when their car won't start in January. For a long time, being dependable felt like enough. That night in the church fellowship hall smelled like chili that had been cooking too long and coffee burnt thin from sitting on a warmer all evening. Paper plates, plastic forks, a sticky patch of fruit punch drying near the coat rack. Indiana winter pressed in from outside, the kind of cold that doesn't just freeze your hands, but settles into your joints and reminds you how long you've been alive. Braden stood 10 feet from me, shoulders squared, ready for a fight he thought he'd already won. You don't get to act like the victim, he said loudly. You took my car, my phone, my apartment, everything. Braden snapped his head toward Sharon, my wife, like a kid checking the sidelines for a referee. She stood by the coffee urn, gripping a styrofoam cup like it was the last solid thing left in her world. She said nothing. That silence didn't start here. It ended here. To understand why a folder could quiet a room full of people, you have to go back to the dinner table where I learned exactly what my silence was worth. It was a Friday night, the kind where Fort Wayne feels half asleep but the roads still hum. I'd just finished a run when Sharon texted me. Texas Roadhouse, 6:30. Braden's coming. Hey, please don't start anything. That line, please don't start anything, sat heavy. I hadn't started anything in years. I'd been swallowing things instead. The restaurant was loud and warm, country music humming through speakers, servers weaving between tables with baskets of rolls. Sharon was already seated, tired eyes, hair pulled back. Braden sat across from her in expensive sneakers, phone glowing in his hands like the world owed him time. Hey, I said. Hey, Sharon answered quickly. Braden didn't look up. Dinner. Started harmless enough. Work. Talk. Weather. Braden rambling about some online opportunity that was definitely about to pay off. Then Sharon asked, gently, did you hear from your dad this week? Braden leaned back, smiling like he'd been waiting. Yeah. He's doing great, he said loudly. New place, new woman. He looked right at me. He says he can't believe Mum settled. The word landed slow and ugly. You're a loser, he said. But my dad isn't. I waited. I looked at Sharon. She stared into her water glass, like it might tell her what to do. That silence hurt more than the word. I didn't yell, didn't walk out, didn't defend myself. I picked up my menu, breathed through my nose, and told myself what I always did. Don't make a scene. Don't be the bad guy. Braden smiled. Sharon whispered, let's just eat. Something loosened. Pin signed me that night. Not loudly. Just enough to change everything the next morning. I sat at the kitchen table with Braden's paperwork spread out under daylight. Titled insurance, phone plans, lease agreements, all in my name. That's when clarity hit. Not anger, not revenge. Just truth. I wasn't being disrespected by accident. I was being used because I'd made it safe to do so. I talked to an old union buddy that morning. He listened quietly, then said something I didn't want to hear. You taught him he could treat you that way. That stuck. I didn't make dramatic moves. I made careful ones. Insurance, phone plan, storage unit, lease, notice given, dates confirmed. Everything by the book. Braden called furious. Accusations flew. I stayed steady. I'm done paying for things I get disrespected over. Then the certified letter came. Accounts I didn't open. Debt I didn't approve. My name used like a blank check. Sharon didn't deny it. I didn't think you'd mind, she said. That sentence broke something clean inside me. Silence hadn't kept the peace. It had trained people how to take. When the truth came out, messages, paperwork, credit reports, Sai stopped arguing. I just documented, froze accounts, separated finances. There was no quiet way back. That's how we ended up back in the fellowship. Paul, Braden yelling, Sharon silent. Everyone watching. I laid out the documents slowly. Titles, policies, leases, credit statements. No insults, no shouting, just facts. I didn't ruin your life, I said. I stopped pretending it was okay. Number 1 clapped. No one cheered. They just understood. Outside, the cold air felt honest. Sharon followed me, shaken. You didn't have to do it like that, she whispered. Yes, I said. I didn't. Quiet didn't work. That night, I left. Found a small rental near the river. Nothing fancy, just quiet. The next morning, I sat on the step with a chipped mug of coffee, steam rising into winter air, water moving slow and steady beside me. And for the first time in years, my chest felt light. Here's what I learned. Silence can keep the peace, but it can also teach people how to take from you. Boundaries don't make you cruel. They make you honest.